All
So,
right.
my real objective on this one is to find out with regular words and the original pink words, and now whatever they are now.
Okay. So you want to know like roughly where to place your defensive line or like where you should be warding, right?
Yes.
Is there like an emphasis, top, mid, jungle, support, like anything you're looking for?
Yeah, the emphasis is on the top and ADC portion because um, I like to. I'm not the ADC that likes to hold on to my words like 2 minutes in or when I have my two words up.
Okay.
So I like to. I like to throw deep. I am a guy that likes to throw deep words out.
Okay. So let's talk about what you should realistically be doing then, right? The main spots that you can ward as that's way too big. Ward as an
Right
ADC,
there. Yeah.
or I mean as a top lane, right there, right there, right there, and right here.
And right there, are you saying on the opposite side of the map of the
I'm
dots?
saying if you were on right here, if this is
Got
you,
it.
right, then these would be the places that would give you the most information, right? Um,
Hmm.
if you can sneak a pink word right here early, and I'll make that actually pink. You can drop a pink ward right there early. It can give you a ton of vision because no jungler paths through that bush very often, and they may leave it up, not realizing that you've pinked it. And whenever they path through this bush, usually their camera is looking somewhere else, so they don't even catch it.
Okay.
So, okay, real quick, before I talk about like exactly where you need to place them, I'm going to talk real quickly about like the mechanics of warding, right? So, just
So are you
do
talking
you?
about where you can place them in the actual terrain where they're gonna pop out?
No, I mean we can talk about that, but more than that, I was. Do you have your wards smartcast or not?
Smart.
Okay, unsmartcast your ward. And the reason is whenever you hover over, right, like a patch of grass. Here, I'm gonna delete all.
Mhm.
You mind if I delete all these? You got
No, it's
visibility.
fine.
Okay. Um, and by the way, this is a decent word for like Evelyn, and that's a
Hmm.
good word for Evelyn. This is worthless for Evelyn
Yeah.
because, and then here down here is also a word spot. If if you like to ward deep, this will give you more warning than this would, and they both cover the same areas, right? So if you put a word there, it's the same thing as putting in the bush there, except it'll give you more warning. But well, I guess it'd give you less if they came through here and went like that. But
Semantics. So, anyways,
anyway. Um, okay, so mechanics of warding. So I'm gonna draw a bush, and it's gonna be really poorly drawn. So, but like, there's your bush, right? It's shaped like that, right? And then
there's a
let's say,
bush.
yeah, let's say it's like that bush, right? How it's kind of shaped, right? So if you drop your cursor and you drag over it, you'll notice that your cursor will go green. If you're like trying to place a ward, like if you've activated a normal cast ward, your cursor will grow green here and it'll be yellow here. And that gives you a very rough idea of whether your ward is in the bush or not. That color change.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
That's something I've never looked for.
Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Man, your password is Dix R Us. We would have never guessed
Yeah.
that.
With capital D. And the R is backwards.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, that is a shift
Not the tutorial.
tilde
Not the
key
tutorial. I didn't want it to.
R.
Whoops. Why would it start on the tutorial? I mean, really? Who's going back to do the tutorial after you've
The
played?
shift tilde key R.
Well, anyway, maybe I can show you in the tutorial.
Welcome to the
No, I
League of
can't.
Legends
Okay,
tutorial.
that's annoying.
That's the way I have Editor Plus.
Time for a true display of skill.
Okay, so by the way, I usually keep my Sightstone in slot 6, and I keep my trinket on T. And
Are
so I've
you left
set.
or right?
What do you mean left or right?
Or left or
Left-handed?
right-handed? Yeah.
Left or right-handed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, my T is not Smartcast.
Time for a little fortune and glory.
All right, get to the first bush right here.
The future can be rewritten.
So like, okay.
Welcome to
See how it's
Summoner's
green?
Rift.
Yep.
Blue. That will be outside of the bush. That will be inside of the bush.
Sounds apocalyptic.
Does that make
I'm in.
sense? See?
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And then like, see the good
It's
news.
that little.
Yeah, just that little bit. The good news
No
is,
time to waste.
if you abuse this trick, you can get way more vision out of your ward, right? So I'll show you what I
So
mean.
this is where you start. Yeah, this is where you start
If
doing the
if
terrain
you
to do your
stand like
business.
No
this,
turning
like
back
let's say
now.
you see where I put, like if I'm standing here, let's assume that I have the same vision as a ward,
Minions have
right?
spawned.
This is the area I see. It kind of cuts off right here. So it's like that, and then
Yep.
I get some vision down here, right? But if I do this trick that I'm telling
If I
you,
obey all the rules, I'll miss all the fun.
and I put it on the edge of this side of the bush, and this is even a bad spot. Ideally, I'd want to put it up here, right?
Yeah, typical.
Always keep your eyes open.
See how much vision I get out of that just by edging the bush? Instead of the vision going like that, it goes all the way out and around here. So I get all this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the edging the bushes makes sense, but
Forward and
I
back.
was hedging my question more towards where are the ideal positions that you want to put your wards?
Okay.
Like where are the points that you want to be warded, no matter what
Gotcha.
lane
No
you
matter.
are.
Okay, cool. So those spots are basically, if you're in mid, you want to have a ward like here or here, because it gives you some control. Like I'm talking if you're this mid, right? Gives you
Mhm.
control of most gank patterns because you can see through here. I mean, they could always come this way, but they'd have to hug the inside
Right,
wall.
they're going to.
And then you're gonna want to hug close to the side you warded. So if you warded here, you want to play the lane this way, right? Because that gives you the longest gank pattern from the opposite side, right? You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
No, no, I totally see that. That
Okay.
does make sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So where you want worded, it depends what segment of the game you're in, what objective you're fighting around, right? So let's say that for all the purposes of this deal, that I'm assuming we started here, okay? So let's say we want dragon. You're gonna want this area warded, and then this area warded, and then you'll probably want a pink on the dragon itself. But if they're on over here, then you want this warded, that warded. You don't care so much about this,
Yeah,
right?
because they're coming in from top east, top west.
Right. This is also a decent ward because the jungler may try to take a steal from that angle. But you'll know based on where they're coming from where you need to be warding, right? Um, I didn't really pick this one because realistically, that's more of a are we going to fight this way? Because if we are going to fight that way, then yes, this one. So, but okay, during laning phase, right? I'll just start there. During laning phase, we're on. This is where we started, right? If I'm in the bottom lane, I'm gonna want my pink to be here,
Right there. Yeah.
and my sideboard to be here or here, right? If I get an extra ward up, you can put it here. I like cheat to the wall and then put it over the wall, right? Or you can put it here.
So when I play with my friends, I like to cheat it up really towards the blues so we can see if
What,
they're
like
coming
there?
down. Yeah.
This gives you all the same information as this, and you can do it from here. So,
Didn't know that, so that's even better.
because I mean, if you stand here and you ward here, let me shrink the size of my deal here because this is way too big. Then you can see
All that.
all that,
All
right?
that.
If you put a ward
Yeah, all
here,
that. Unless they go into a bush, but if you have a good map
but
awareness, you'll
you'll
see
see.
them
I mean,
go,
you'll
oh,
see
boop,
it because they'll
done.
pull this back as they
Yep.
fight it. This you'll see very clearly from right here, and you should be able to see them take it. So this is as good. This is probably a better spot than warding this bush because this bush the vision cuts off like right here.
Yeah, it does.
This ward,
I see it. I see it now.
yeah, this ward gives you this camp and this one in terms of viable information and this path, right? Because this like you don't get much. You could edge this bush, and it'll give you like that kind of vision. If you edge the bush, if you put it right here, you'll get like that anyway, which is good enough. Um, the other
No, it's
spot
not
is
good enough.
you could put a ward right there if you were being super proficient, and then you can kind of catch them walking through here. Or they don't usually go this way unless they're on a gank route. So I don't know how important this ward is. This is more important.
No, it is.
Okay. So like I said, this is also good if you have a wall jumping jungler. Like if you have somebody who can get from here to here.
But if I don't,
If you don't, uh, then this is good and pink here.
it's always going to be the pink in the back.
Yeah. I like so I like the pink in the back for two reasons. One, it
One,
gives your
because
jungler an open gank route.
exactly. So for me, it's just they know no one's going to go there. And two,
Mm-hmm.
if someone shows up, they're going to have to hit it. And then jungler knows, oh, they're there.
Yeah, right. So I mean that's number one. Two, it closes a gank route for you that they can't,
Yep.
you know. So that's good. So you'll spot that out. And then the other thing is you can actually bait them into a fight here if you put a pink like deep on. By the way, you keep noticing that I put the pink like here,
Right there. Yep. Right there
not
because
not here.
no, because there they can hit it and deep in their territory. You want
Yeah,
it back in your territory where you can fight that.
right.
That
Very
one I
good.
know. That one I know.
Okay, cool. So you wanted an over the wall trick, right? You can ward from here to there.
Mhm.
And you do that, there's like a little rock right here with like, it used to have a snail on it, but if you stand roughly in these two spots and you kind of drop it on that rock, it'll scar ward right there.
I know that one, and I know the top rock ward too.
Oh, up
Those
here?
are fun. Yep.
Okay, cool. I was trying to think of a couple others. I rarely ever, you can stand here and catch the edge of this bush, which is one I use often. Like if you stand right there on the edge of this,
Hmm.
you can drop it right into the bottom edge of that and see the whole bush.
I would say it's really ideally the most effective words that you like to play with.
Hmm. Okay, so let's get back to the cut. I rarely ever, if I'm on this side, I may put a pink here, but it's
Never.
mostly to give my jungler a path. If I know the jungler's likely to come, I may put a pink there.
But if you don't know your junglers are gonna come, where are you gonna put it?
If I have lane dominance, I'll put a pink here.
If you
Because
don't,
if I don't have lane dominance, put a pink here.
they're never gonna see that.
Well, here's why. The higher elo you get, the more that this becomes a gank route for dives. The lower the elo, you don't get dove, right?
Acknowledge. Yep.
So this protects me from dives. So whenever I see a guy waiting here to come dive me and these people are pushing in the wave, then I know just get the fuck out,
Yep.
right? If that's like I said, if you're not at a elo where people dive you, that's not a bad pink. Uh, that's not too bad because it gives you jungle information that you know when they're gonna clear it, and then that's not awful. The other thing is you can put one here and try to get your jungler to lane gank that way, and like sneak into the bush, right?
Right.
Because you know you've cleared that vision. So
Mm.
that's another way in which you can utilize that.
No.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just did that last game, so that was fun.
Oh, cool. So that's always a net win. Or you can put it more like back here, so you have permanent vision of the dragon. That's never too bad to have, particularly if you have somebody like a Shyvana or something that will want a dragon, or a Fiddle or a Nunu that can just take it by themselves. That's
Mhm.
75 gold to know when that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
never a bad deal, but that's more of a niche thing. I don't like to put my pink there because I feel like it wastes the vision because the most you're gonna get's like that, and then somebody could just walk through here and you'll never know. But if I do have somebody who's gonna like solo kill the dragon, I will definitely like want that information, right?
So
Okay.
for the absolute places that you want to play, go for these two lanes. Top lane, bottom lane, right now.
Okay.
Pop them.
Absolutely necessity spots,
In
right?
a minute, pop them.
Okay. I'm just doing bare ass necessities. So
30
those two
seconds.
those two spots, and then you said in bot lane and mid, or
No, just bot lane. Go.
okay.
Top bot.
Whoa, that got big.
Good enough.
That'll pretty much cover you from most things.
So cover bot lane, top lane again, because bot lane you put them everywhere where I like. Top lane.
Right there and there. And then if you
Can do the rather large ones,
do what?
the really big ones, the
Oh.
big dots.
Boop, boop. This is far down in the bush as you can get it without
Yep.
losing the bush.
Yeah.
And this, it doesn't really matter. You don't have control of it. They'll wipe it either way. I prefer it right here because
Because you can get to it faster than
no, because
hopefully
it
they
gives
can
it
get to it.
it gives a little bit more vision because of the shape of the bush that's relevant to you. So like if you put it
Oh.
here, you get all this natural, and then you get more of that because the line of sight hits.
Oh.
But if you put it here, you get that,
Oh.
and then maybe just a hair more of that. You see what I'm saying?
I do. Things we know now.
Yeah. Really try to focus on like line of sight on bushes because, like I showed you in that deal earlier, this gives you like a shitload more vision than this. Because this, the vision line will go like that, but this, the vision line will go like that.
It's really going down to the pixel.
Yeah. That's why that trick I showed you of not smart casting and hovering the edge of bushes gives you a shit ton more vision. Like here, if you ward this bush and you edge it, it gives you information about what's going on around the corner like that. But if you don't edge it, you get this. You see what I'm saying?
I do now. I really hope you put this up for a video though.
Oh yeah,
That
like
just
well, I mean that's the idea anyway.
this is what I was looking for. I hope that I could get this for my warding video.
Well, cool, man. I will, like I said, I've got it recording, or at least let me double check to make sure I have it recording. Yeah, we got it. We got it recording, so that'll be good. But yeah, so that's if you want to know. By the way, whenever you start, like, let's assume this tower's dead, right? Then your ward line moves, and remember, the answer is not necessarily like where's the ideal spot, so much as it's like where's the vision I need right now, right?
Right. So
So
it's going
like,
to be probably Baron. So if your top lane is dead, it's going to be where's my red? Where's my Baron?
okay, so I'm gonna do this. Let's draw in the fog of war, right? Because I mean, I'm assuming this tower's still up, right?
Mhm.
And all this tower's still up. So we got a fog of war here.
And you're coming from the pink.
Yes. So like, where do you want vision on this mess? If that's the fog of war, right? And I mean, keep in mind this is all going to be in the fog too, but I don't want to color over my
Am I on
picture.
the fog or the pink side?
Huh? Oh, you're in the pink. I'm just saying I don't want to color over my picture because that would kind of defeat the purpose of the graphics, right? So,
I would want to say I would want to write about.
okay, let me help you out because this is a tricky question, right?
Can I? I can't take over the mouse on. Can I?
No, you cannot.
So
So,
right where the triangle is pointing out there,
what triangle is pointing out? What?
move your mouse right a little bit
Right here? This
and a
triangle?
little bit more right there,
Okay,
bottom.
cool. So if you edge this bush right here, that is probably the most effective vision, right? Because that keeps you to here, and if you edge it, you'll get a lot of this.
Of which type of word?
Any board, they all have the same vision. And then you get this, like that, and like this.
So yeah, same vision, but what I'm saying is which one is the most economical
That's
on that point?
it doesn't matter. Oh, you're saying ideally where would you put? I would put a green ward there because if they're going to try to stop you from taking this tower, they're going to try to
They're
gank
gonna
you
run.
and
Okay.
they're going to run through here and you're going to need like you're going to need them not to know you have vision. So if you have a pink there, they'll just wipe out your pink. Whereas they may
Right.
not clear your green. But that's a good spot, right? Because
Yeah, that makes sense now.
it
Yeah,
gives you
that
all
makes
that
sense now.
vision.
Yeah.
So then let me color in some more fog of war here, because now that's the vision we don't have, right? Um, Here's the thing: the key to figuring out how much vision you need is how long will it take you to get back to safety, right? So if you're all the way up here, and
You're
they
fucked.
show here, right? Well, let me change the color because that makes this is all very confusing without the color change.
No, we're seeing that. Well, I'm seeing that. So if you're up there and they're down there, you have a little bit of time. They're not gonna totally cut your lane off.
Right, right, right. So like, let's say that they're right here, right? They could walk in here, and they may not be able to get there by the time you could fall back. But right now, they could get all the way to here before you even see them.
Hmm.
That's not good, because then they probably can cut you off,
So if you're
right?
that far up,
So,
you really want one in that tri bush.
okay, right here.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, if they're already right here, you're already fucked.
I'm not.
Because
I'm not
remember,
saying if.
you're right here, and if they have vision right here, oh god damn it! I didn't mean to do that.
No,
Okay,
that
that's
proves my
fine.
point. There. No.
So
There you go. You
let's
just
say
you just proved your point.
you get vision here, right?
But
Like that.
if we see them all the way back there at that point, and I'm up there, we're fucked.
If you have vision here, so I'm just assume you have vision there. It'll be like that,
And
right?
that's my late warning sign, and I saw them
But
there, and I'm
keep
at
in
the
mind,
red.
you're standing here.
Yeah.
And for the purpose of this, this has been destroyed, so that's gone. But if you're
So
standing here and you see them there, you have
I'm
zero,
dead.
like you're dead. Then
Yeah. I'm
this
dead.
ward has no value. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're
No, yeah,
already dead, the ward
that's what
has
I
no
was saying.
value.
Yeah, I'm fucked. I'm
So
totally dead.
right, so I don't want you to do shit that results in your death. I want you to do shit that results in you surviving this mess.
This is
So
why I say dumb things.
if you
Correct.
have if you have a ward here, then it gives you vision of this area, right? If you edge it, you get a little more vision, and then that gives you another better, like if they're coming this way for you, then oh, I can see them right here, and I can start to back off. You might still
So
get
you
caught at that point.
so you really only want that one and the other pink one in the front to kind of see where they're coming from.
I didn't say only. This is a bare minimum.
No,
Ideally, you'd have this whole area lit up like a fucking Christmas
oh
tree.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
but I mean, this is like if you have a ward in these places, it gives you vision. I mean, this is poorly drawn, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I do.
Like
So
that.
I
So, like, if they're coming, I'm going to draw them in yellow. If they're coming this way, right,
want to word it that way.
you see them here. Already, they've been spotted. If they come
That
this
way.
way, they've been spotted. If they come from down here, they've been spotted, right? You're covered.
Yep.
Ideally, it'd be even better. Whoa, I have more colors. When did that happen? That's awesome. Okay, ideally, it'd be better to have a ward right there as well. If it's between the turrets, it cannot be seen, and it'll give you this.
See, because what I've learned is I like really putting a word in between where the gate is if you can't enter it.
Okay. Let me
You know what I'm
erase some
talking
of this
about?
shit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Let me erase some of
Yeah,
these
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
lines.
Like the interior yellow thing.
Yeah, right here is where you're talking.
Yep.
So, okay. If you are
But I feel like that's kind of you because whenever I put that down, it's like, oh, I can see things. That's not useful.
no, it's totally useful. Let me explain. Um, okay. So, I'm going to just do a quick on the other side without explaining, okay?
No, go ahead. Go
Just
ahead.
for the sake of
No,
completion.
this is the best part.
If you're doing this side and you've already taken this, right?
Hmm.
You want to ward. Wait, there's my pencil. You want to ward here,
Hmm.
here,
Hmm.
and maybe here if you can get one. And
Right.
and that's if you're sieging this turret and this turret's gone.
Right,
Because
so they can't
there's
come at
very
you.
few ways they can come at you. Because
Right.
odds are, if you're sieging this turret, then they're approaching you
From all those
from
ways.
like this direction, this direction, this direction, etc. Right? Odds are you wouldn't be sieging this turret if they were behind you coming this way. Right?
Right.
And if they are behind you, then place some fucking wards behind you. Right? But I mean, the idea
By
is
the
that
way,
you want
how
to.
are they behind you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's say they're getting dragon and you destroy this tower and then push forward. Then
Dumb.
they could
Okay.
come that way.
Semantics. So we're up there, nose behind you,
You're up here, no one's behind
shoving
you.
it in.
You want a ward here, here, and yeah, and maybe there, because this, if you get your vision here in this area, because your ward's there, you know to back off this way. If you have vision here, you know they're coming to defend the tower. Vision here is an early warning system similar to this, because you know they're
Damn,
coming down that
I
way.
have 1 for 3 on that because I have the furthest one south on that.
This.
So that one. The next one I would have right above the one-way entrance into their base.
What, like there?
Nope,
Or here?
further.
There?
Right there.
Okay. So that ward is really good when you are sieging this turret. Okay? Because keep in mind, any ward up to kind of this area is visible by the tower. So you need to drop your
God, that's
ward.
why I was always pop it right there because I know it's not visible by the tower.
Yeah, you need to drop your ward here or here. And that gives you the most useful, like, well,
Yeah.
that's a bad one. But if you put
I
it
mean
here,
it's shown me things, but it's
yeah.
never been super useful to me
Okay, so
ever.
here's why
Because
it's
I'm not
useful.
in that elo.
Yeah, now here's why it's useful. Whenever you're sieging this tower, your ADC has to get kind of up here.
Mm-hmm.
Your engager will usually stand right here on the underside of this wall so they can't be seen. And they're ready to like pop in, right? So
Mm-hmm.
your tank and your other crap will be standing like there or here,
Mm-hmm.
kind of ready to make a move. If the other party, like let's say Leona stands right here, and you can't see
Boom.
it, you're totally within ult range. Everybody is. And everybody can just fly right around this corner or over this wall and
But
stop you.
if you pop that ward right there, you can see everything in the
Ex-
back.
yeah, exactly right. And
Mm-hmm.
additionally, it lets you know if like somebody's injured and they back off, you can see that rather than the
Mm-hmm.
fog of war just being like that.
Right. So it's only been using the fog of war backing off. That's it.
And
I've
plus,
never.
here's the other end of it. If they have flankers, they usually send them out like that.
Yeah.
And this ward, you see that.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll go if you're gonna be there a long time, they'll go like that. And that ward defeats that. But this is rare. I mean, mostly the value of this ward is mostly to see what the fuck's going on the other side of this
Mm-hmm.
wall. Because this being
Mm-hmm.
all black, this whole area being in the fog is super dangerous. Just like this whole area being in the fog is super dangerous when you're defending.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just when you're that close to the other team and they can auto attack you through that wall or they can use abilities through that wall, like you can die just by being too close to them. The wall is not safety at all. Okay? Other important words, this for when you're doing Baron, you can put one here for Baron as well, right? And I'm assuming we're on this side. But these two areas for Baron will make it less stealable. Uh, this, this is an important bush to control, not for Baron, but for like mid game. Like when
Mm-hmm.
towers start disappearing, right? Let's say all your
Right.
front row towers are gone, right? The question then becomes where, like, what are we going to push and where do I need vision? So if we want control, and keep in mind the other thing is if this whole area on your mini map is black, then you need to step
Fuck.
your vision or go
Yeah.
with a partner or two. So like you put vision here, that gives you vision like yay. Then you can step
Mm.
forward to the edge of your vision, maybe drop one here. And there was something called the octopus's arm approach, right? And it's from
I've never heard this,
yeah,
dude.
it's UNLW Lull Society, right? So you got an octopus, and if you've ever seen an octopus with four legs, if you've ever seen an octopus walk on the ocean floor, right? They like reach out with their first tentacle and then they put it down and then they kind of drag and then this one kind of scoots forward and so on and so forth, right?
Oh, team communication.
What? I don't think you're
Team
getting this
communication.
analogy yet, but like the octopus walks like cousin It would in the Addams family, right? Like one finger stretches out and then it pulls back towards the middle and the back legs kind of push off, right? And so you can ward like how an octopus walks, right? Every maximum step in front of you, like where the octopus's hand would stretch out, you put a ward there. And then you can also drop a ward behind where you've been, and it gives you ward cover in specific areas. That was more relevant back when you could purchase an inventory full of wards. Now the game is played in like how do we get efficient control over certain areas because odds are only one person is going to buy a side stone, right? And
Right.
so if we're going to set up control of Baron and I know they're in their base, I want to ward here, here, and here. Because that lets us know when we need to, if we need to break off of Baron and meet them, or, because let's say all the towers are down and their line of sight is like that, right? Like they're in their base, right?
They're turtling hard.
Right. These three wards will give you
Useless.
no, they're great. They give you every piece of information you need to know about whether they're planning on contesting your Baron. Because you're going to see them, if they're going to leave their base, they're going to come this way,
That way or that way.
or this way,
And
or
they're all gonna
that
meet up.
way, or whatever, and they have to hit these certain choke points as they follow through, right?
Right.
Your word's gonna catch them. This word's gonna catch them in the last. This word's gonna catch them on their way through all these choke points, and this word's gonna catch them all the way through here. The only way they could circumvent your ward line is do this. Nobody does that because you won't get here in time to stop the Baron.
No, you won't.
So if you have a ward there, there, and there, odds are you're gonna get that Baron. It's safe, right? Like I said, whenever you're taking the dragon, let's just flip the sides real quick. So now we're on this side. If you want to take this dragon, then you're going to need a ward here, here, and maybe here, depending on if they actually come. Because this will let you know if they're getting ready to bounce the border or turn the gap. If they are more favoring down here, like their bot lane is here but no one else is, then scrap this word for this one. Because then you've got more vision like that and down like that, and then you've still got a word here, so you get vision this way. So these are the wards you need for safe Baron taking, and that's
Safe dragon taken.
yeah, safe dragon taking, right? I don't know why I said Baron, but the yellow is pretty critical. Let me cover that up with blue. and the blue is secondary. Well, this should be yellow. Let me take that back. That's yellow.
Control C.
Yeah. So, there you go. With Baron, it's kind of the opposite, but let's say that we're on this side now taking Baron, right?
Right.
And then secondary ward. Okay. The why of this is because as a support, you walk through, you can stand right here and ward here just by
Just
walking
watch
like
it.
that. Because if you hug this wall, you can drop a ward right there. It'll hit on the
Mm.
outside. You don't want it to land here. Do not ward here. That's bad.
Yeah, no, it blocks off all your vision. Done that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Because, like I said, remember, edges are super important. Because if your ward lands here, you get this. That's the field of vision you get. Right? But if your ward is here, then you get.
That.
Mm-hmm. And then, also instead of the bush, you can ward this, like just this area, because you'll get, well, that's too far, but it'd be like that. And then, like, you won't get the bushes itself,
Hmm.
but you'll get this whole area with a ward that's just kind of sitting right out here in the middle of nowhere. Also, don't be afraid of not putting a ward in the bush. That's okay. Sometimes it gives you a lot more vision. Like, a ward here is often better than a ward here to control this kind of area because like your ward here, everybody looks for this ward to sweep this ward.
No one's gonna look that word.
No one's going to look for this one. And if they put a pink ward in this bush, which is often what happens, the vision
Hmm.
range of the pink ward will die like right there. And then this ward still works. Does that make sense?
No, that makes total sense.
So, okay. But yeah, look at it this way. Like, whenever you break up the map, kind of break it up into natural choke points, right? And think to yourself, where would I get the most vision? So in here, it's on the corner, gives you vision of the area around, or you can just drop a ward right there and get a shitload of vision, but you
Hmm.
lose the bush. But is the bush really going to be that valuable to you? Why do you want the bush in that scenario, right? Sometimes this ward's better than this one, right?
And sometimes the antithesis is correct.
Yeah, and sometimes the opposite's true. That's 100% true. So, sometimes it's better as a top laner to put your ward in that bush than it is to put it in this one. Like, if you need to kill them, for example, like, don't hesitate if they're going into a bush. Ward that fucking bush.
Yeah. Pop it, get that ass.
Yep. So, don't be scared of that. Because I don't know how many people I've seen lose fights because they lose vision of somebody and that person uses the opportunity to get a
Nope.
cooldown or dodge a
Word
skill shot.
flash. Word flash. Alt.
Yeah,
Go.
whatever gets
Do
the job
whatever
done,
you
man.
need to do.
But
Get
I
it.
mean, the other thing is when you're sieging, this is a good ward. Because remember, you want to control their fog of war, right?
Mhm.
If you put a pink here, then be more like here, or right there would be even better. You put a pink here, oop, too much. Put a pink
Yeah,
right
we
there on
get.
the edge,
I understand where you're doing it.
you
Right on
get
the edge.
all this, right? And that's now controlled area of vision. If they try to drop a ward over this wall, it's going to short out.
Mhm.
and you have complete access to see this whole entrance to the jungle is now closed. Right? You can see all this. If you put a ward here with a ward here, then they can't leave their base
Right.
and without you
Super
knowing.
impressive.
Yeah, it's super impressive. This is the choke out wards. And in particular, if you have one here, you can the other reason that this is a good ward that I forgot to mention earlier on the opposite side is if you're sieging and you're rolling between these two, like I'm gonna push a wave in and then we're gonna rotate to the bottom lane and hit it here. If you have this ward, you can see if they're rotating to defend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So, and you can also like if only two people rotate, you can dive them here. So, okay. I hope this was informative. I think that should probably wrap up. It's probably be a heavily edited video, but that's kind of the
I
general thought.
scratched the surface.
And I mean, here's the other thing. You can ward over this wall over to here. That can be a pretty decent ward because it gives you some area, like, you know. But I hate to, like, draw dots on the map and to be like, this is where you need to ward. Because people then, like, just think, like, it's like a cribbage board and I need to fill up all the holes, right?
All you need to say is, ladies and gentlemen, it is a subjective game every time.
Sure. Well, okay. Yeah, but that's a little bit broad of a disclaimer for what I mean. Like, the key is figure out where you need vision. What's going to be the next objective? If Dragon's going to be up soon, I may, like, even if my whole team is standing right here, I may, like, sneak down here and
Mhm.
ward,
Mhm.
and then throw my pink there, right? Just to make sure we have an uncontested dragon. And then I'll ward here if their team is there defending this tower, right? Because
Right.
I need to know when they're going to come. And well, this was my team for this X. But yeah, we're at a mid face off because that's bronze. Everybody always goes mid all the time, right? So there's a
Right.
mid face off here. And I'm supporting and I'm watching the timer and I'm ready for dragon. My wards need to go here, here, and here. And then my pink goes there. Either this ward could actually go that way, and that wouldn't be bad, or this ward could go that way, and that wouldn't be bad. But the idea is, where are we going to need to see? And yeah, this whole area is good. This ward could even fade up that way a little bit. You could cheat it up there if you needed to, right? But if you're going to be taking the dragon, you have to have this area.
Right. That one and back too. Right
Mm-hmm.
between the tri bush.
Yeah. Like
Yep.
here,
Right there.
here's fine, here's fine. But you generally want to be able to see what's going on here because you may have to zone out their jungler and you need to know that information.
Yeah. If I don't have where you put your third one and your first mark, done. I can do it.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
Yes.
Okay, ask.
Well, it wouldn't be appropriate for the podcast.
That's a great place to end this video. All right, thanks, man.